Was good, yeah. Hidden in this usual mess of death inside questions with a lot of questions that get kind of like computer-ish AI generated answers, there is one that is very important or could be very crucial for all of us that are hoping for more content, more ways to use our characters than actual getting more characters, because we mainly get more characters in comparison to actually new content. And that is right here, question number 15. It would be nice to get a guild-wide PvE challenge like, for example, the Hydra in Raid or the Guild Boss in Eternal Evolution, with the answer being, thank you for the suggestion, Commander. We plan to launch this on the Forerunner server in May. This comes from the Dev Insight interview from the 15th of April. So I believe by the time of this video, it should be 4 days ago. And yeah, let's talk about what we know about this guild boss and if you should be excited.
Our research begins.
So for information on this magical, mystical guild boss 2, we'll be referring to Mubucket's dev interview all the way back in December. So that's already been many, many months until now. But this information is still relevant. And right off the bat, we have the name, or the name it was at that time, which is Titan, the Guardian, or Titan, a Guardian Golem. But yeah, we'll just be briefly skimming through this. And then from there on out, talk a bit about the way this guild boss is supposed to work. And then, yeah. So, obviously this boss is supposed to have 3 phases. And those phases are going to be the first, the second, and the third phase, following by a vulnerability phase. So kind of the same mechanic as if you play the fight properly, you get rewarded with dealing extra damage through vulnerability phases. Which obviously brings us to the concept of 3 arms, which you can kind of see right here. This is like the general design of the boss. So it's going to be like a giant golem where you can place your units below the boss and then even in front of the boss a bit, maybe even to the sides. And that whole thing revolves around right here. Pretty much a golem that has 3 interchangeable arms. So kind of like a dragon module that's going to shoot fire, a chainsaw module that kind of looks or seems like some melee type one, and then like a shield phase. Furthermore, when we take a closer peek, right here we have already like a rendered-ish version. You can see we can place ground tiles right there. So on the video, it's going to be, we have the ability to place, so it's going to be kind of mirrored right here, and then we have ground tiles over here. And then following it up with range tiles. So right here we have kind of like a snake dragon shooting like purple fire. We have the chainsaw, and right here we have the shield. Overall, this boss obviously looks extremely cool. Here is some more artwork from the shield. The shield is actually kind of like rotating out. And then that is one interesting part right here. Is the fact that this symbolizes the stance the boss is in. So the visual cue is the shape of the boss's helmet. So if it's in like this closed off form, then that's referring to him being in like a defensive stance. And if he has this horn right here, that does refer to him being in like a more of an offensive scenario. And here we just have some artwork. Obviously it looks pretty nice. We don't really know anything too specific towards how it interacts with the guild and overall stuff like that. But those shots right here do also give him kind of like a magma look, which then right over here, if we can get to it, there we go. There we just have like that concept of him having 3 arms, and those arms all refer to a face. But honestly, not too much is known. They've talked briefly about the way this fight is going to work. But yeah, the general gist, you have it right down here. The general gist is going to be, it is a mix of survivability and DPS. So it's not just beat the boss until it's dead, until your score is the highest. Or at least that's the way they plan it. But honestly, at the end of the day, who knows? They might as well have it with like every other boss where you just find a team to go in and completely destroy the boss. But yeah, was brief, But I guess that's already been it. There's still a lot of content we can talk about from the Mbacket interview. I guess one thing that could be very, very crucial for all of us is the part where they talk about Gear 8.4. So this condition in regards to having every stage on 18 cleared is the same with us. New sets, new materials also fits. Craft selected sets also works, that we can't select the slot. So if it's like a bangle, weapon, armor also comes down. Farming it with stamina also works, but we have the limit 150 entry keys. And now comes the interesting part. Random boss modifiers, multiple bosses rotating, and each boss has its own set. So that is what we were supposed to get, but for the moment we still only have Volker. Though this is some really nice stuff. This could be could be exactly what we're asking for, and obviously potentially more. Right here, that also looks like reworked Tide, but honestly, at the end of the day, no matter what they do with Tide, no matter how cool they make how they make the bosses look, I mean it's Tide, right? It's not that great. If this would be a champion you could pull for, or if this would be a boss you could fight, yes sir. If this is Tide, I mean, yeah. So yeah, that's already has been it. See ya.